everyone. Thought I would do a quick video about post-race ultra racing blues and family support. Please excuse the planes flying overhead and the noise. We are right next to the Charlotte Douglas International Airport, so that's going to be happening throughout the video. But this topic I surprisingly found was important to my racing career, kind of by accident, because I didn't realize that I would be having post-race blues so much after a race. So I thought I would talk about it, make a video, kind of explaining what it's all about and what to do about it. So let me first get into what it's all about. So if you're an ultra runner, if you're signing up for ultra races, or any race really, triathlon, I've done 3 full Ironmans, so that as well, or long distance races, anything over a marathon distance is considered an ultra. And I've done quite a few, so that's why I'm talking about this today, because it has become an issue in the past for me. So after a race, if I don't have anything on my calendar to think about, prepare for, train for, I go into quite a depression. So this happened early on in my racing career. A few years ago, I had done the Destin 100-mile race, and I had a fabulous time. I had so much fun. It was a great experience. I was on cloud 9 the whole next day, actually for like 2 days after, and everything was great. And then got home, went back to work, and just got into a really odd depression, and I could not figure out what was going on until I realized I didn't have anything to look forward to or train for or prepare for. And I was so used to that every day, all the time, constantly thinking about your next race and your next experience, mentally planning and, visualizing the race experience, which I do quite a bit and often. And I didn't realize how much I was doing that until I didn't have to do that anymore. So after the race, when I didn't have anything to plan for, nothing to train for, nothing to look forward to, no logistics to plan, no people to talk to about it, no research to do, I was kind of lost. I didn't know what to do. That gives you a lot of time. It frees up a lot of time to to kind of get depressed. So I realized that was happening and decided that I wanted to look forward to another race and start training for it. So I decided to find another race and sign up for it. This has consistently happened to me with races. If I don't have anything on the calendar or anything planned after a big event or race that I've done, this seems to always happen. So and I've talked to other friends of mine and other runners, and this happens a lot to them as well. So the post-race blues is a real thing. It really happens, and it's kind of tough because you get irritable and cranky, a little depressed. Your family doesn't know what's going on or what's wrong. Half the time you don't know what's going on or what's wrong. That's what I've noticed, and excuse me. So just by realizing all of that and what's happening, you can kind of either prepare for it or explain it to your family so that they kind of know what's going on about it, and you can take action to plan something, plan another race, plan another event, even if it's not something that you want to run. If you want to go I think I swallowed pollen or something. Got something in my throat. Even if you go to a race to be race support or be a pacer for somebody, that's a lot of fun to do as well. But to have something on your calendar, even if it's just 1 or 2 races a year or events to go and volunteer at, or pace for, that's pretty good to do and have on the calendar so that you can avoid these post-race blues, because they really suck. So I wanted to say that does tend to happen and to be prepared for it. So another thing that I found important with post-race blues and just racing in general is family support. I've been very fortunate that I have an incredible husband that is extremely supportive of everything that I want to do and accomplish and have an adventure to go experience. He's been my number one support with everything I've done, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. He's really been awesome. My husband Matt, and we've been married for 7 years, and but I wanted to talk a little bit about family support in general and how that can be a hindrance or helpful. So lucky for me, Matt is great, and he's been extremely supportive. He's never not wanted me to do something or experience something. He's always been my number one cheerleader in what I do accomplish or try to go after to do. So on the flip side, he is not an ultra runner. He doesn't like to run long distances. He doesn't like to go and pace and be support for these long distance races. He doesn't travel very easily. He's a HSP, a highly sensitive person, so he has traveling challenges, to say the least. So, which is okay. He doesn't limit me in what I want to do and what I want to try, and he's very supportive in ways that he can be, with moral support, talking to me whenever I need to, helping me plan or even talk out my plans, which has been great. So he's extremely supportive, which I could not be more grateful for. But for him himself, he does not get into ultra running or prefer to do this himself. He has come to some races before, a handful of them, and he's done a lap or two with me on different courses that have been shorter laps. But to pace for really long periods of time is not his thing at all, and I don't make him do that, and it's completely fine. I'm very much so a solo runner, and I do well alone, and don't necessarily have to have a pacer with me on a lot of these races, and sometimes prefer not to anyway, because I can really get into my own strategy and go solo. I've done it so many times, it's kind of used to it. But for Matt, just because it's not something that he necessarily doesn't want to do, and I don't force him to do it or make him, he's more into yoga. He's a yoga instructor. He does like to run. He likes to run half marathons or less, and but he's a phenomenal yogi. He's a great instructor. He's been teaching for a while, and he's really good at it. And to be honest, yoga's not my thing. It's not my thing at all. I really appreciate the art of it and the discipline and the effects and benefits of it. I understand and appreciate all that, but for myself, I can't get into it. It's not my thing. I wish it was. I've tried. I've gone to his classes and taken them. I've gone to different things that he's taught and been supportive, but I just don't enjoy it, just like he just doesn't enjoy long distance running with me, and that's totally fine. And plus, we're both at different paces when we run. But my point is that he's very supportive of what I like and I do. I'm very supportive of him and what he likes and what he does, and it can all just work out great being that way. And then it comes to family and friends. A lot of people are not going to understand what you're doing, what your strategy is, what you go through, the training. A lot of people haven't done 50, 100, 200-mile races. So they don't understand the highs and lows, the mental challenges, the physical challenges, the weather challenges, all of that that goes into these races, and they can't understand the extreme highs and the extreme lows of it all. So try not to get frustrated with family when they don't understand exactly what you're going through or where you're coming from. I've had family that have been extremely supportive and some that has not been so supportive. Mostly the people that are excuse me, something is in my throat. The people that have not been supportive usually is because they just don't understand. They don't understand my reasoning of why I'm doing what I'm doing, or why I'm going after it, why I keep going, what I get out of it, and that's okay. It's not their thing. They do things, a lot of people are into things that it's not my thing, but I try to understand what they get out of it, and but they don't always understand what I get out of ultra running or long distance hiking and through hiking. People are like, you've done it, why do you want to do it again? I have my reasons. I'll be making a video about that. Not something I can sum up very quickly, but it's an incredible experience. It's what I want to do with my time, and I have the ability to do it, and I get so much out of it. So some people can understand that, and some people just won't, or can't, or choose not to. Either way, it's okay. It's not their thing, and sometimes you're gonna have people that are supportive, and sometimes you're just not. And I try not to worry about it. It's your own life and your own experience. You got to go after what is important to you and what you feel is right and what you want to do. And if that means going to run a long distance race or do a through hike of a trail, then you go for it. Not everybody has to be supportive or understand, and that's totally fine and okay. I've run across that a good bit. More people that are supportive in what I want to do, but not everybody. And like I said, I really feel like it's more that they don't understand what I get out of it, or the reasons of why I do it, which to each their own. They could choose to try to understand if it's important to them or not to. It's all good, but I don't let any of that influence my decisions of what I want to do and I want to accomplish or experience. You're going to have support from people, and then sometimes you're just not. It's just inevitable. But it is great to have a good support system, or at least one main person like I do with Matt that really has your back and your best interest in mind, that can love and support you in what you want to do, and talk to you about how you feel and what is important to you. I have countless stories of him being so supportive for me. One of the big ones that come to mind is I was at the end of one of my big races. It was at the end of, let me think, it was Bigfoot 200, and I was exhausted. I was so tired, sleep deprived. I was at the end of the race. I happened to have cell service, and I was so tired I was getting kind of delirious. So I had 13 miles left to go, so I decided to give Matt a call and just talk to him to keep me moving straight and keep my mind occupied for a moment, and gave him a call, listened to him about how his day was doing, told him about what I was doing, and he was so uplifting and positive, and it just helped me immensely. And that is a way that he could be extremely supportive for me, and I appreciate that a lot. Even if he's not physically there with me, I know he is there, and he's shown that over and over. So it's also calling him after a race, telling him how I feel and what how it went, and him listening and caring about it. That's important to me, more than him being dragged along to all these races when he would rather not be. I'd rather him be home doing what he wants to do and be happy and positive and there when I need him than anything else. And that's another thing you can think about doing on these races when you do have a point when you're very low, you're very exhausted, tired, or whatever the reason, and you need to have, if you can have a support system of a handful of people that you can call to help pull you out of your funk or rut or wall or whatever you want to call it, then that's really a great thing. I've done that a handful of times and it's really been helpful. Sometimes you just need to have somebody to complain to. One race I called a friend of mine and just complained for a few minutes about the conditions, how tired I was and how I felt, and just how exhausted I was. And it helped a lot. It helped me feel a lot better and refocus my energy on the race and not be so down and low. I was able to refocus and get back into the race and get it done and do well. So if you can have support like that, then that's a good thing to have. Somebody you can talk to. There's so many running communities around here that you can join, and as well as hiking communities. And I lead a few of them. There's on meetup.com, for at least here for Charlotte, and I know in a lot of other areas there's a ton of groups that get outdoors. I'm a part of I'm a part of a few different groups, but one of the hiking groups, our local hiking groups, I'm one of the helpers, leaders. I'm not sure how you would define my position, but whatever it is, I do lead some hikes from time to time. I've got one coming up this Saturday in at Crowder's Mountain, and we have 49 people signed up to go with, last I checked, 4 on the waiting list. So it's going to be a rather big hike, and just because the weather is so beautiful, and that's a really fun hike to do, it's really great and easy to find groups to be a part of, to get outside with other people, talk about this stuff, talk about your plans, get some advice, and really get out there and try to help encourage others to get out there. Be a leader too. If there's a particular trail that you love, lead a hike out there. Make a Facebook group or join a meetup group and encourage other people to get out and be outside. So the more we can get people out and experiencing this stuff, the better. So be supportive for other people, and hopefully you'll have some support for yourself as well. It's been very important for me. My mom's been a huge support as well, and I really appreciate that. She's never put any limits or told me that I can't do something, and I think because I have Matt and my mom and other people in my life that are so supportive, I've been more inclined to go for the adventures that seem hard or difficult or sometimes impossible. That it is possible. It is, you can do it. You can prepare for it and have these experiences. You know, not everybody has to do it the way I did, but I went from half marathons to marathons, then I did a 50-mile race and then a 100-mile race, and since then I've done many hundreds. I've done 3 200-mile races, and I've got one more coming up in November, and it's just been amazing. I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity to be able to be a part of the ultra community, to be able to be a thru hiker, and to do this again. I'm planning another thru hike coming up this coming year, 2021, and I'll be videoing about throughout my whole hike this time. Last time I did more blogging. This time I'll do more videos, and it should be an incredible experience, which I hope to bring you all along with me. So stay tuned for that, and it should be exciting. So, you know, you can do more than you think. Everybody can do it. More is possible than people give themselves credit for, and I'm living proof of that. When I did my first marathon, I was so tired that afterwards I sat down and I didn't think I could get back up. And I went from that in just a couple years to running 200-mile races after doing a thru hike of the AT. And I'm not any crazy. I'm just your average person. I'm not any incredible athlete. And it just goes to show that anybody can do it if you prepare, you train for it, you get ready, and it's something that you truly in your heart want to do. There's no stopping you. There's no stopping anybody. And that's again what this channel is all about. It's about helping other people get outside, be prepared, showing you what it's all about, how to be as ready as you can, and to hopefully, and most hopefully, inspire you to create and do your own adventure. So that's what my goal is. I just want to show you my story in hopes that it can enhance or start or improve or whatever, anything to help your story. So to everybody out there that has given me so much support, it is so appreciated. From the littlest things like Matt putting a note in my gear bag and me finding it as a surprise, to people sending me a text message, to all the wonderful messages I've gotten on Facebook while I'm doing my races and adventures, to just coming home and getting a big hug from the people that I care about and love, and for them just feeling the energy of how they are proud of me. And that means a lot to me, and I appreciate all the support that I get. And when you're out there on the trails, running or hiking or doing training, you think about that stuff. You really appreciate all of the people that are in your life that do support you and do love you, and it's incredible. Even the people that don't support you or don't understand, sometimes that's great and motivation to push yourself and to keep going. You know, I've used that too. Not as often, but there has been moments where I thought, I'm not giving up because someone or a group of people or a person expect me to. So I wouldn't. I use that motivation to keep pushing. But luckily for me, that doesn't happen very often, because more so than not, I have a great support system of people that do support me. So surround yourself with people that are supportive. Don't waste your time trying to convince other people of your goals and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. If they don't support it, they don't understand it, then let them be. You know, it's not your job or motivation to make them understand, agree, or support you. I just wouldn't worry about it. Just, you know, not everybody's going to understand your motives and what you want to do. So do it for you. If you're doing it for the right reasons within yourself, then you can't go wrong. I'm living proof of that. So go plan an adventure. Go find a race. There's tons of races out there. There's, you know, you don't have to start with ultras. You don't have to start that far. Oh, I lost Millie again. Come on, puppies, let's go find Millie. You can start small. You could start with joining a hiking group, joining a running group. Start there, and then progress on to races in your local area. And then you can also try ultrasignup.com, and they give you a huge list of all the races in your area and all over the United States. So you could check that out, and that's a good source. That's where I sign up for most of my races. There are some races that are not on there, but most of them are. So check that out. But plan something, you know, find a race that inspires you. There's lots of great races for charities. Find one that moves you, that touches you directly or indirectly, something that you support, and run for that. That's great, and so fun. So that's where I would start. But get out there, plan something, have something on your calendar to look forward to and plan, and start training for it. All right. And if you have a great experience, feel free to share. I always love hearing stories of people getting out there and enjoying the trails. So have a wonderful day.